This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hi, this is Merrill Hodge, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Oh, hockey is back.
Yeah, hockey's back. All it took was us deciding to fight tooth and nail. I mean, maybe we should settle Ukraine versus Russia on the ice. It brings out your pride, your nationality, your nationalism, and then we go home with the winner. Hats off to Canada. Obviously, I was supporting Team USA, but great game and shows you, hey, you can have fun exhibitions if you have a little pride with it.
I also think it highlights an important thing that we've lost, kind of like we lost the comedy in the pandemic for a little bit there. The idea that you can go to, and we've seen this, right? I mean, the Eagles were kind of the center of attention because some guy was just having a good time, giving in the away crowd some chatter. Turned out to lose his job and all that nonsense. But the idea that you can go be an asshole, boo the shit out of someone, boo the shit out of a national anthem, boo the shit. I mean, when I was
I know
a
some
kid,
people are saying it was classless, but I like booing national.
It's not about being classy or classless. It's about the idea of creating a hostile energy and a hate energy that lasts during the game. Now, would I argue that the after the game shenanigans by those same Eagle fans would I have a bigger problem with? Absolutely, because the game's over, right? The battle has been won. I mean, we saw this a lot. I played rugby in college. We beat the shit out of each other, oftentimes for multiple games, and then you got fucked up afterwards with everyone. Hockey's very similar in that regard. Great honor, play hard as shit for an all-star game, but be cool afterwards. Which, unfortunately, the be cool part, that's tough in society nowadays.
Well,
you can't say fuck you because you're a Cowboys fan, and then it's like now we have to have some sort of 3-year war.
Yeah, sports hate is awesome. Joining us on the line to talk all things college. What's up?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of hate and sports.
Oh yeah, Colby hates sports in general, but he does celebrate sports hate when it occurs. Joining us on the line from college basketball or college experience basketball edition, Colby Dant, AK Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
I'm just celebrating this great Big West basketball going on right now. I don't hate sport. I only hate the bad sports.
I just had this revelation. I was I kind of passed out in front of the TV recently, and I woke up to the movie. Colby, what's the movie with Matthew McConaughey? He travels through time, or the space movie. Fuck, what's the name?
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
So there's the scenes in Interstellar where you're essentially like you're time travel. You're hearing these recordings from the past or future, whatever.
Yeah.
Colby is in the past or future right now. The way that the video looks right now, I feel like we're talking to Colby.
No, doing a little time travel.
Could he be in the 70s right now?
Well, yeah.
Colby, how is the triple option?
Colby asked to have his resolution downgraded to standard definition. And so, yes, Colby coming to you live from standard definition, which is ironic because Colby, as you know, upgraded his lifestyle. He's calling to us from his country club. I think he just put away his clubs. Had they like to play some gin rummy after the round. Him and the gents.
They head up to the 19th hole.
He's got his martinis, shaken not stirred.
Abuse the waitress at the bar a little bit.
Yeah. So
Classic golf clubhouse activities.
Classic golf shenanigans. No, the
talk to the help like they're the help.
Everything Colby's all about there. No, it was an awesome. It was, and congrats to Canada. I saw OPSs for commies, who is a Canadian, I'm assuming, talking a little smack, saying the 11th province offer is off the table. So I'm assuming he's talking about there's some political talk about Canada becoming the 51st state.
Unfortunately for Canada, our president is in the population of doesn't do great with the be cool part of the situation.
And I don't know when we learned, Ryan, province, not Providence. For some reason, I always wanted to put Providence in there instead of calling it province.
It's fine that you said we there. That was good.
What do you mean?
Good use of we.
For what?
That we learned that it was province.
Okay, I learned province.
Providence is a city in Rhode Island.
Yeah, I always thought it was provinces, but it's provinces. So shout out to you, Canada. Congrats. But we're here to talk college basketball, coming off pretty good run for the show. Fortunately for me, I was the anchor. I was 7-9, only hit one of the locks. But I mean, come on, that West Virginia beat. We picked it at 3.5. Hopefully, if you bet West Virginia, you got it. I mean, two Hail Mary, like fully contested off the back.
Well, one was a bank. It was clear, like not the kind of shot.
But it was from the corner. It was from the corner.
That's a high percentage shot.
Colby, I was on Jizzle, just like you. But my God,
Jizzle my nizzle.
That's the kind of shot that the right kind of guy would argue it doesn't count at the park. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
you ain't called bank, bitch.
Then they were still West Virginia was up 3 with 4 seconds. All they had to do was inbound and get fouled, and you hit one of those and they cover. They of course turn it over on the inbounds, and then I was briefly rooting against West Virginia because I needed to go to overtime to cover the 3.5. They of course they get the rebound on the prayer 3, but as time expires and they're trying to foul him literally to send him to the line. But Colby 11-5, 2-1 on the locks. Kramer 10-6, 2-1 on the locks. Consensus plays back on track to a 5-2 run there. So nice work, straighten things out. Maybe the Patino pep talk did help a little bit, but Colby, how are we feeling going in?
I have a question for a very pointed question for Colby. Colby, what the fuck happened with Providence?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Apparently, I don't know. And I was on the grid. Shout out to our guy Dave Sherapan.
No,
and he had told me that because we were about to talk that game. It was about to tip. It was like literally tipping as we were talking, and he's like, so I hear Providence got the flu tonight. They got guys out. And I'm like, really? I'm like, cause Georgetown only has 7 scholarship players. Wow. So, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, we were leading, and Notre Dame. Apparently, that pep talk did not help them.
Unbelievable.
Kramer was on SMU.
It was a really bad tantrum. I mean, he even kind of misses the mic.
It just felt as someone who's watched a lot of bad acting, been a part of a bunch of bad short films, watched a bunch of bad stand-up.
You talking about my pilot?
I did play a crossing guard in a. You ended up releasing that movie, right, Colby?
Get out there. Get out there somewhere. Yeah, it's people are still raving about it.
Financed by a guy who managed a grocery store and believed in Colby.
Look, they said you need a producer. I said, okay, this guy says he's a producer. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, he literally produced produce. But yes, I know bad acting when I see it. And the Notre Dame coach, that was really bad acting. I thought that was pretty rough.
Do you think it's because he's not a good I think we just have to flush out the not good coaches.
Well, it could be both things, right? It could be a desperate coach trying to rally the troops and get them fired up, and he doesn't have the win one for a Kipper speech in him. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be that, or it was just, I don't know what else to make of it. But Notre Dame sucks. Colby, I'm trying to find
clearly the team didn't did
not respond to it. Colby, I'm trying to find a fun long shot of a team to make the Final Four, Cinderella, because I feel like the Cinderellas, when they get to the Final Four, that's when they really get fucked up and they don't actually get over that final hump of winning it all. They celebrate too much, whatever. There was some discussion in the office of Nevada, possibly a 200-1.
I heard that got nixed,
but now that's probably not going to be my long shot. I want something that's a little crazy but could happen. UCLA is intriguing. Is the price long enough to consider it a long shot? Last I checked, they were sitting around 20-1. What's an early Cinderella? And obviously Nevada is off the table right now. Oregon was a team I was kind of keeping an eye on. I'll pull up their price, but who is a potential Final Four Cinderella long shot that you might be able to get behind right now, Colby?
Well, when you say long shot, I feel like traditionally you're looking for a mid-major, right? I mean, I guess NC State was a long shot last year, they had to win the ACC tournament and then go all the way to the Final Four. But
like Oregon was someone that was on my bubble list of Cinderellas, 40-1 to make the Final Four. Obviously,
well, I think you should always consider Oregon because Altman's success in March, he's got a track record of like the team finding its groove. Even last year when they went on the run to win the Pac-12 tournament, the final Pac-12 tournament there. They're just capable of doing that. And you saw them earlier in the year, they beat Alabama out in Vegas. So they're certainly capable of doing that. But if you're looking on the mid-major ranks, I think you probably, there's a team tonight that I think is interesting. UC San Diego, the Tritons.
Oh, okay.
Now this is going to sound crazy to say the Final Four because a Big West school has never been to a Final Four.
Yeah,
but
sounds crazy.
well, I mean, it sounds as crazy as someone that would have said Loyola Chicago or George Mason during that. It's not like Mason hadn't had.
What about maybe?
Hold on, they started playing at the D1 level in 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. And Sean, Ken Pom does have them at number 40, right below New Mexico, right ahead of San Diego State.
New Mexico, they're intriguing 35-1. What about Coach Calamari, Arkansas? Now, obviously, they have to get in to the tournament, which is certainly not locked in. But Arkansas, 60-1. Colby, is that?
I don't like that one. They're too young. Okay. Nowadays, that youth shit worked 15 years ago or 10 years ago. Now you got to have experience. You know, I feel like that's what it takes to get to the Final Four, especially with there's a guy like 29 years old and playing for Charlotte. What's my guy's name again? Is it Broswell?
Oh yeah, I said in the group chat. If you could pull that up, did he start at Charlotte or is he on Charlotte now?
No, he's on Charlotte right now. He actually won the game for them the other night.
But he's like 30, isn't he?
Let's see. His name is it's Broswell, Robert Broswell. And he has been in college since Baker Mayfield was at Oklahoma. Yeah. I don't have a birthday though. If you can Google him and try to find the birthday, but I mean, this is a guy, Charlotte. Yeah. You might want to put Charlotte on that list, even though they suck, just for that experience factor. But he
was, to put it in perspective, when we did DGen Madness, saving the college sports. He was a junior. He was in his third year in 2020. Oh no, he was maybe it was a sophomore. Yeah, because it was the 19 to 20. Then? He was let's see. I'll pull up his career stuff, but
dude, so Baker got drafted in the NFL in what, 18? If I had to guess.
Yeah.
Why? So 17.
He was at Syracuse. back in the day.
One of the aggregators posted a Todd Gurley's been retired for 5 years and is the same age as Derrick Henry. Like, oh,
that's crazy. Cause I mean, yeah, the R.I.P. Todd Gurley and those injuries. But yeah, I'll try and track down a Broswell injury, or sorry, Broswell date of birth. But he's super old.
Also, I do not see Circa at least does not have the Final Four price on UC San Diego, but their national championship price is 700 to 1, which relative to Oregon 300 to one. So if you wanted to guesstimate where that price might
maybe
be,
we can hit up
100 to 1.
Perfect transition.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I was just going to throw out Drake. Drake's an interesting one. They're 24-3. They basically hired a D2 coach that brought his entire D2 team with him, and they have shown up and beaten a lot of good teams. I mean, I know we're going to talk about Vanderbilt tonight, but Drake beat them by 11. Yeah.
Also, no price on the Final Four for Drake, but their championship price is 600 to 1. So you can maybe 80 to 1 on the Final Four.
Okay,
price.
maybe we can hit up Benson, get some of those Final Four prices.
That sounds fun.
Speaking of which, we got some news. We'll do a big announcement, but for the diehards locked in watching this live, subscribing to the Sports Gambling Podcast, we're going to be doing a listener event Wednesday for the first four. And we're doing it with our partner Rhythm. So we're throwing a party, throwing a bash at Stadium Swim listener event, cocktails on us, aka Rhythm. And not only do you get to come hang out at the party if you're a Rhythm user, again, you can just sign up for the 7-day free trial. You're gonna like it. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party to get in on the party. If you can't make it out to Vegas for that Wednesday night before March Madness kicks off. Or I guess it technically is kicking off because it is the first four. So we'll be watching one of the first four games, having some drinks, and one person will win a $250 future for March Madness. That was part of the reason why I was curious, because whatever the listener wins the $250 future, I'm going to also be tailing, because I don't want to be cashing this massive ticket for the listener and not having a taste as well. So again, one, get in on Rhythm and then get in on the contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. Very easy to sign up. Get your details. If you're going to be in the Vegas area that Wednesday night, come say hi, have some cocktails. Colby's going to be there.
I was going to say, you got to list out all the big celebrities that will be there.
Yeah, and Stadium Swim is at Circa, if you didn't know.
Yes, Colby is correct. It is at Circa there, and so it'll be a fun hang. Looking forward to that. We also have
no snorkel masks.
No, you cannot.
It's a rule. You'll get in trouble. Trust
did
me
get yelled at by a lifeguard at Stadium Swim.
I was making content. I wasn't doing anything creepy. I was just
whip the snorkel mask at the guy.
I mean, can we have a quick sidebar about that guy?
Yeah.
So this motherfucker. So we've done a number of shows at the Stadium Swim over the years.
Yes.
And sometimes you go up there, you got all your gear. So we're going through with a case that's obviously not going to go through a metal detector. Some guys are cool. They open it, they see it's fucking equipment. And they're like, okay, what the fuck? Well, this one guy, he starts pulling stuff out. It's like, dude, really? So this was the beginning of our journey. Then the next year, I forget what it was, but he like searched the bag and found something that I wasn't supposed to have at Stadium Swim. Takes it away from me like I'm a fucking child. We have words, move on. Then the third incident was something unrelated. Fourth incident, I'm in the pool with fucking the snorkel mask, and he comes over and starts berating me with his shaved head, strange ponytail coming out the back. Certainly thinks he's hot fucking shit. Well, cut to, this is maybe a year and a half later now. We're doing our weekly head out to Vegas, do the VSiN show. And who do I see dressed in like the inside security clothes for the Circa? This same motherfucker. Do I
Ryan
use
versus the security guard?
Do I use the powers
rivalry
of friendship with people who work at the Circa to get this guy moved out of my life permanently?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because you're kind of describing the guy that
Oh, you
got a little
that's
friction
the guy you
on.
had the
Yeah,
incident too?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
motherfucker. We should do something about this, Sean.
All right, we'll get right on it.
Anyway.
Also, Edge Boost. We partnered up with Edge Boost, of course. Again, if you don't win the $250 free future, why not use your Edge Boost rewards? That's right. You get free cash back every month when you use the Edge Boost Visa debit card. Sportsbook, DFS, sweepstakes, casinos. You get up to $750 cash back each month. Again, why? You've had so many times where the card gets declined because you're doing gambling stuff. This is a debit card that loves gambling stuff. Just like you, FDIC insured. It's free, no credit check, no nothing. Just go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, sign up, and get the instant tier 2 status, and of course the cash back reward. So I think I will be using that the Edge Boost card over at Circa or on the Circa app to get down on that Oregon Final Four future. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. All right, let's get some picks.
All right. Chat is lit. I see the chat.
I want to let you good people know that I'm sorry to cut you off, Kramer. I was saying I was going to let you know that you guys didn't want to do 17 games, which disappointed me. But Marcus Johnson, we deleted him in the Battle of I-75 action for a Friday night spot of Bowling Green, Toledo. Just to make your silly little 16 game protocol. Right?
Might be a good thing. We did not have success.
16 game protocol.
I mean, Colby, you make the rules. We started at once upon a time. We did 12 games.
Yeah. Or no, 14.
I never once agreed to anything.
Colby's like the NFL commissioner. They just keep adding games here left and right. You're watering down the product.
At least they're not in Sao Paulo. All right.
Brazil is great too.
He literally makes
such
the fucking
bullshit.
He makes the tab.
He does.
The chat wants to know if we're gonna have a prostitute fund for Noah this year, Colby.
Noah's not going, or if he is, he's doing it on his own dime.
Does Mac get the prostitute?
I don't know. You can ask if Mac wants a prostitute.
Is there a prostitute fund?
I'm not gonna rat Mac out. Whatever he does.
He's a married man.
Whatever Eddie. Whatever.
Oh, then I guess it would have to just be whoever wins the $250 future.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could parlay that into a prostitute.
Well, we know a guy.
That's up to you what you do with the money.
We know a diehard fan who could help you get through a situation like that on a budget. I know for certain. All right, you want to talk about some college basketball finally, Sean?
Yeah,
sure. Let's head over to Philly. Villanova been playing better, I guess. 4 p.m. here on Friday. Colby gave us a couple Friday games to make sure we had ample action out at the Circa. Watch the VSiN show, 8 p.m. East Coast, all the way through 11 p.m. East Coast. We got Marquette, Villanova, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. -1.5 for Marquette. Is the wrong team favored with the way Villanova's playing right now, Sean?
I mean, I'm always a sucker for Villanova, but I don't know. I'll let Colby start on this. They blew that game against UConn, which I don't.
How?
What do you mean? They fucked it up.
I know.
They're Villanova.
Watching it. How
they haven't been. They haven't. They lost to Providence. They lost to Villanova. They lost to Connecticut. Now that was a back-to-back road spot. I did lock them up with the points, which was solid. I mean, they almost blew the cover too. They should have won that outright. But now you come back home against Marquette, catching a couple points here. They obviously need this game if they want any sort of chance to have an outright bid. Colby, how do you see this Villanova Marquette? I want to take Villanova as a home dog, but also, I mean, that was bad vibes pissing that lead away to UConn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised at the number because Marquette has 8 straight wins against them. In fact, Kyle Neptune's never beaten Shaka Smart. But the number screams Villanova here based off. You have the 16th team in the nation, Marquette 20-6, taking on a team that's barely above 500.
You saying they know?
Yeah, I think that I would have set this at like 4.5 or 5. I think, but give me Nova, more desperate team. They need if they're gonna have any chance of making the NCAA tournament, they got to win a couple big games. And lucky for them, even though they lost that UConn game, which has got to be killing them. If they get Marquette here, this will be somewhat of a marquee win. They took down St. John's recently. So you get another win or two in the Big East Championship because after this Marquette game, they got a bunch of dead weight. But desperation, that's the angle. Give me Nova.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm always gonna want to take Villanova. You look at that sweet free throw percentage.
So bright green on.
I mean, 80% from the line. How do you? Well, that does help you cover as a dog.
Yes.
They are a home dog here. Should have a. It is at the Wells Fargo Center, which I would prefer it not be, but yeah, Marquette is. Are
people more into Villanova or the Sixers right now?
No one's into the Sixers right now. Okay. They're a dead franchise. So hopefully they get up here. And I think the counter is Marquette hasn't looked great on the road. They lost to St. John's. They lost to Creighton on the road. Obviously, better programs there, but they haven't looked great on the road. I think this is a nice spot here for Villanova, and maybe, Marquette smelling themselves a little bit after destroying Seton Hall. So I will take Villanova as the home dog. Kramer, what are you doing?
Gary K in the chat is correct. Wrong team's favored. Colby, it seems like Sean's pivoting to a strategy of tailing our sweet picks since we're on a mini heater, hanging behind like a.
Well, this is
someone jet skiing behind a motorboat. Consensus play.
Yes, consensus play.
Discord coming off a fiery 2-5 performance. Again, on the backs of me and Colby, of course. Michigan State, Spartans, big game here. Some would say rivalry game in Ann Arbor against Michigan. Michigan laying the 2.5. Colby, 5 p.m. on Friday. Well, this will
great game.
Well, I was gonna say there's some very bettable opportunities for us now that I'm fully locked in. Basketball.
these are two of my sweetheart teams, Michigan State and Villanova, both happening on a Friday night.
Both dogs. Obviously, Sean will be on Michigan State. Colby, which side are we taking here?
No, I am on Michigan State too, because Michigan's they're off the Ohio State win at Ohio State, so kind of pairing them back to back. And I do think Michigan State's the type of team. Michigan is kind of reckless with the ball. I think Michigan State can make you pay for that. So give me Sparty here with and by the way, isn't it a bit shocking? Michigan still has a 7-game lead in this series that they've been playing since 1909. I think if you would have told me that, I would have bet Michigan State leads the series.
Well, certainly
we need how they have Gettysburg. So they have Civil War reenactors. We need Colby and the TCE guys to do some college basketball reenacting. We could film it in black and white.
The year is 1908.
The year is 1909. All the headlines are reading about the Krauts in World War I. But you see, these kids on the hardwood, James Naismith just took a basket and nailed it to a board. And these kids are going back and forth. They're calling it one of the greatest rivalries in sports. There's only 6 teams, so yes, they have to be a great rivalry.
I mean, you got to be a little surprised that Michigan still Michigan had the Glenn Rice era, but Michigan State's they had the Magic Johnson era. They had the Sean Respert era. They had the
be careful with that
Izzo, the Izzo era. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that they're still trailing personally. But I do believe the chat is correct.
Colby, I got some trivia for you about their head-to-head statistics. What do you think the Final Four matchup is? Michigan versus Michigan State.
Oh, the pricing?
No. I'm saying total Final Fours reached.
Oh, okay.
Between the two.
Sparty's got to have them beat, right?
It's 10-8. Michigan State's winning 10-8. Anyway, and if you look at the wins, Michigan loaded up early, big time. Anyway,
no, it's quite fascinating. But I think Izzo's just the guy. Michigan coming off the big Ohio State win, They are 12-0 at home too. Like I just feel like, are they really going to go the entire season undefeated at home? There's one guy that can wreck it. All right, and I believe this Michigan State team is. I honestly believe this is the best Michigan State team in a while.
Yeah,
so
their confidence is sky high. I mean, you look at what they've done awesome on the road. It would minus that weird LA road trip where they lost to both USC and UCLA. They've been great on the road. They took down Illinois at Illinois. I mean, I know because I was on Michigan State money line. They're part of the big dog parlay. Got some heat from some Illinois fans. You don't know what it's like. You don't know this environment. And I stuck to my guns with old Tommy Izzo. And yeah, they've done well on the road. They beat Ohio State on the road at Minnesota. Not a tough place or not an easy place to get a win. Destroyed them there.
Couple other notes. Michigan actually leads 104-90, but 7 of those wins got vacated.
I did see that.
Oh, that's a funny nugget.
But if you look at the last 50, Colby, Michigan only has 16 wins. So it's Michigan State has owned the rivalry since that, and that basically takes you back to the year to 98. So
Kramer, what are you doing?
Again, we just highlighted every reason why you just have to take Michigan State in this rivalry.
Okay. Consensus play
34-16.
Chad is on Marquette in Michigan.
Yeah, that sounds like a great card. Private school in a school that wishes they were a private school. Oregon, the Ducks. A lot of talk about the Ducks in the office the last couple of days. They're taking on Wisconsin. This is an unbelievable matchup for so many reasons. We've now
classic Big Ten rivalry.
We've now moved over to Saturday, and I mean, this is where we're back to is Wisconsin actually like good at basketball, or is this just they're good at beating the Big Ten teams at basketball? And is Oregon? I think Colby said last time, reminded us about the Altman experience and how the teams that tend to get better as the season grows along, but they're catching 11 points here on the road in Madison. Colby, the Staples, these are nice Staples though.
This is the best Wisconsin team in a while too. John Tonje has been balling for them the past couple games. I think he's dropped 30 in both games, if memory serves me correct. But that's just too big of a number. I mean, I know Oregon, like they got lucky to survive Iowa, but the first road trip is normally the harder one. The second one, when you go on that big Midwest trip, normally where the teams have performed a lot better, so they're more adjusted to that time. It's just too big of a number. I think Wisconsin can win the game or will win the game, but 11, you got to. Yeah,
I mean,
why is it so big?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just how you plug it in.
Yeah, it's it seems like a big number, right?
No, I'm just laughing at Colby. Just say you plug it in.
Just say you plug it in, buddy.
Will get penetration.
No, I mean, Wisconsin's playing really well. They just beat Illinois.
I mean, they're the number 11 team in the nation too. Yeah. Oregon's not ranked.
Yeah, so you got an unranked Oregon team in a back-to-back road spot. I understand why it's this big, but Oregon's been good as a dog. 4-2 ATS. I think 11 is a lot for an Oregon offense that they should be able to hang around against Wisconsin. I struggle to, look at Wisconsin at home. They did beat Indiana by 21.
No, here's a perfect example. Is like Oregon blew a double-digit
conference play. Yeah.
They blew a double-digit lead at Michigan State, ended up losing by 12, but I don't that was like 1 out of 100 there. They only lost by 4 at Michigan. I just think they're good enough to stay in this game, and they're athletic enough to stay in this game. They lost by they won at Ohio State, at Penn State. So I mean they've been decent at these trips against these traditional staple schools.
It's a good measuring stick game as well. And if you're out in Madison for the game, you got to head over to Watertown. Little Kramer cheese stop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shout out to them. And the brat stop while you're in there as well.
Of course the brat stop, but you know what goes well with brats?
Cheese.
And it's also my last name.
And I saw in the chat, someone was mentioning Tyler saying he's a Wisconsin fan. That seems high, but our 3-point shooting, we can drill teams. Good point there. I would say Oregon's 3-point defense not bad. It's tough to imagine this team getting completely cooked. I think they're going to hang around 76% from the line. Obviously, Wisconsin is better, but you're getting 11 points. It seems like
you're going against that free throw shooting.
No, well, it's the
brightest green
points.
you can have. I know. I agree. Take the points.
You're on Wisconsin, Kramer.
Yeah, again,
on Wisconsin or Oregon.
No,
I'm
on Oregon.
What
do you mean? I'm very unclear. I started off saying this number is way too big. I was very clearly pointing out that this is still a Wisconsin staple team. You just really you got to pay attention.
Oh, I'm paying attention.
It's like it's not hard. It's like an episode of Forensic Files. You'll see. You
leave breadcrumbs. You leave clues as to who you're.
They're very obvious. It's very obvious. Forensic science will be the solution. Texas A&M hosting Tennessee in College Station, 9 a.m. on Saturday. What is this? Is this accurate? They're not favored at home. Slick Rick Barnes coming to town. It's a pick'em.
Yeah, maybe it's A&M -1. I was thinking, it's not going to be much more than that.
Oh, that's right. These are picked on D. Nice.
Yeah.
That's why Colby took offense to me badgering the number and saying how hard.
Well, I was actually a little higher. I actually lowered it with the Oregon game.
So Texas A&M won't be favored against Tennessee.
I think they'll be like a pick or 1 point favorite.
What do you think, Sean?
What do I think? Let's see. What? We're
gonna disrespect.
I think Tennessee will be a small favorite. I would make it Tennessee -1.5. So I'm fine at pick. I mean,
you think Tennessee will be favored in College Station?
Pick is a fine line because maybe Texas A&M ends up being laying a 1.5. Maybe they're a 1.5 point dog. I don't see the spread getting to 2 points either way.
You fools. I mean, all right. Talk to the world about why you like Tennessee here, Colby.
No, I like A&M.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Well, Buzz Williams has never lost to Rick Barnes at home since joining the SEC. Now he lost in Knoxville, but in College Station, he's gotten it done against these guys, including some of them have been big time blowouts. The last time they played, I think in College Station was a 16 or 17 point win by the Aggies. Yeah, look, it's as simple as that. I think Tennessee, as the season's prolonging, has some clear weaknesses. I know this is Rick Barnes. This is kind of the MO. Once you get closer to March, the team gets worse. That's just what happens. But A&M is 12-1 at home. The rebounding is elite. They're number 1 in the country in offensive rebounding. Yes, they're a terrible free throw shooting team, and Tennessee's a great free throw shooting team, but just ignore it. A&M gets it done.
I can't ignore it. In a close game, free throws are going to matter. They matter more. They matter a lot in close games and big spreads because the big spreads you catch the big points. I know Kramer has a love affair with Texas A&M, but
that's not true.
They are coming off a loss. They're back at home. I see how you could be tempted to take Texas A&M here, and I understand they could ugly this game up and make it a rock fight. But I'll take Tennessee. They have the full week to prepare for this Texas A&M team. Seeing a lot of green on the sheets for Tennessee. If you're looking at some of the advanced stuff, and every time I take Texas A&M, they screw me. So, Buzz, no, thank you. Give me Tennessee. Kramer, why you like Texas A&M here?
I mean, they haven't a lot of their road games against better competition. Tennessee's failed.
Okay.
To Colby's point, this is the time of the year where Rick Barnes will drop a couple. So
they beat Oklahoma on the road.
And I also think just in
not a lit environment.
Texas, they beat Texas on the road. Texas.
That was personal for Barnes. He got fired by Texas.
This is a Saturday in College Station coming off a loss for a team that is proudly defend. I mean, it was just that Bama game, I believe, that only home blemish. So Yeah, I don't know why we need to talk so much about it. Why? And it's not Texas A&M that I like so much. It's Buzz and his coaching styles and methods, and the way that they resonate with young men, both in life and on the basketball court. 10 a.m. on the West Coast. If it wasn't clear, I'm on Texas A&M. 10 a.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Lubbock, Texas. Very weird road trip. There's probably a bus on both ends of this trip. West Virginia, Texas Tech. I mean, the Big 12 is just nothing but weird road trips. The whole conference is weird road trip teams.
It's the truck stop conference.
Well, so is the Big 10 now. I mean,
no, but not like the Big 12. It's all places that aren't like, they're not major areas. So you're taking a plane to an airport, and then you're on like a 90-minute bus ride. West Virginia, Texas Tech laying 9. Another team probably going to be losing money on, hopefully winning money on in March Madness. Colby, we lay it here, right?
Yeah,
After
I mean, look, what I know what
experience.
Yeah, and I think like West Virginia is fighting for their post-tournament, chances here. And so you're like, they're the more desperate team, but Texas Tech just lost to TCU. They're still, jockeying for position in the Big 12 and really in the field of 68. It's to me just a bad time to catch Texas Tech. It's that crazy road trip. I mean, we can dig into the numbers too. But I just feel like that's the core of my argument. I mean, 92 92nd in the country for rebounding for Texas Tech. West Virginia is depleted. They got hit with the injury bug. They're 292nd in rebounding. Also, free throw line, 40th in the country is Texas Tech. West Virginia, terrible at the free throw line there. So I mean, 3-point line as well. You could just go. You could pick and choose your battles. But to me, the real handicap is it's the spot. Texas Tech's going to win by 20.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I don't know. West Virginia plays some pretty good defense. Defense travels. This is a conference game. They are desperate, and my initial take would be to lean into what you were saying about them coming off a loss, but I don't know. They haven't looked amazing. Texas Tech off some of their losses here. 2 and 3 ATS of a loss. It's not like it's a lock that they show up here. 9 kind of feels a hair high. So Colby, you're on Texas Tech laying the 9.
I am.
Yes.
I'm gonna take West Virginia.
Okay.
I don't think they're live, but I don't know. I think they're a little took it a little personal that they ended up on Scott Van Pelt's bad beats, and they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder, Ryan, and they're upset that they cost me my money. So I will take West Virginia catching the 9 points.
They've not exactly fared well on the road this year. Period.
Really? What are you basing that off of?
I'm basing this off of wins and losses, but
okay.
And in general,
what about ATS?
When they've gone to play
5 and 3 ATS, that's not. I think that's faring fine on the road.
Okay, sure. It's recently they've not been very good.
Okay. Recency bias.
But yeah, like when the game started getting harder, aka they started playing conference games, it started going the wrong way. All right, moving along. Sean likes West Virginia. That wasn't clear. Iowa State.
No, I said I'm on West Virginia. I explained to the audience what I'm picking.
I sometimes the audience maybe they're not clear, so I was just clarifying. Iowa State heading down to take on my Houston Cougars. This is our year. 11.
It's an easy trip
here on the West. Again, it's like every trip. It's you got to take the 90-minute bus ride to the airport, and then 90-minute airport or airplane ride, then 90-minute bus ride. Houston laying 10.5. I mean, I guess you just have to. I mean, tell me why you're going to take the points, Colby.
Because they're kind of mirror images of each other. Like Houston is number 1 defensive rated. Iowa State is a top 20 defensive rated team. They're both top 40 offenses. It's just they both play with a crazy physicality to me. Both Houston's a much better rebounding team. I think if you're looking for the angle on the offensive glass, Houston, that's their MO. But it's just a little bit too many points for me. I think Iowa State beat them in Ames. Or no. They beat them the last time they played in Kansas City. That's the last time they played. Actually, they didn't play at Ames this year. So in the Big 12 tournament last year, but that was an Iowa State crowd. But I think Houston will win the game. I just think Iowa State's going to be there neck and neck. They're kind of similar teams, man. They're very similar in the way. Yeah,
it's a big number.
Yeah. Oh man, Houston's a pretty good team. They are at home. They've been good ATS at home against the number.
Yeah, just home in general. They're pretty. This is a good team. That's why we're gonna spend some money on them.
No, but then they mess it up. I mean, this to me feels like the Baylor game where they have it, they're in control, or Baylor, Oklahoma State.
That game was a mess.
How did they beat Utah 70-36? That's insane. I mean, West Virginia, they took care of business. Like they just they take care of business. I'm going Houston laying 10.5. I see the case for Iowa State. It's probably a hair high. It'll be interesting to see what this number opens at, but projected line of 10.5. I'll lay it with Houston.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a cheaper price. I gotta lay it. I'm a Houston stan. I mean, specifically, if they, if they just, whatever happened in that game that allowed Baylor to come back in it, that was a problem. Ole Miss, Chris Beard, and I will say, Colby, this it's like ESPN's getting ahead of it with the just jamming the SEC teams down our throat. SEC. They're obviously going to choke in the tournament. It's going to be hilarious.
It does feel like an SEC's team's not.
My God, they're like, look at this. The SEC has as many good teams as the rest of the country, and it's like, yeah, probably, but also, yeah, can't wait to watch this this house of cards collapse. Chris Beard, Ole Miss, maybe not the team that I'm going to be betting against early in the tournament. They're taking on Vanderbilt down in Nashville. Pavia will be there, I guess, because it's a home game. 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Pick Dundee has Vandy laying 1.5. Another one where are we sure Vanderbilt's going to be favored?
I mean,
what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Think so
it's going to be right there. It could be a pick. It could be a pick. They've been good at home though.
I think people will bet on Ole Miss if they're not favored.
I'll bet on Ole Miss if they're getting 1.5.
That's what I'm saying. I think we should make this Ole Miss laying 1.5.
Ole Miss laying 1.5.
That would be my estimation.
All right, Ole Miss lay it. We'll call it 1.
Colby's giving the Vanderbilt a big time lit factor.
We'll call it.
They've stormed the court multiple times, unlike that bullshit that happened in Columbia, Missouri last night.
Talk about this,
but they don't want to lose their NIL money.
NIL money. The school's not putting the NIL money up. That's such a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, but the school doesn't want to pay it.
Yeah, and fuck the school. They're they joined. The reason why they left the Big 12 to go to the SEC so they can get $55 million a year. Fuck off about 200 grand. Wow. Those students are all pansies. What are you doing here? Dennis Gates is going to be gone in the next year or two, and you're going to wish you were winless in the SEC a year ago, right? And you have a top 4 team come into your fucking house, a team that went to the Final Four a year ago, and you don't storm because he gets on the mic. Fuck him. Storm. You storm every time because when you're 50 years old or 60 years old, you're going to wish you did storm. Instead, you didn't. And Dennis Gates going to be rich while he's coaching some other school in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I participated in multiple storms in college, and I haven't really had a ton of opportunities since college. So if you don't take the opportunity, you may never get that chance. You got to take Mississippi here.
They're trying to turn it to the NBA, man. They're trying hard.
Colby, what are you doing? You taking Ole Miss or Vandy?
I'm on Vandy. Here's the thing. Vandy needs one more big win. And it's either here against Ole Miss or against Mizzou on March 1st. I think Ole Miss is more vulnerable on the road than Mizzou is. I think it's here. I think they get
I'm with
it
Colby.
done
I mean,
right here. Yeah.
Ole Miss is intriguing because of the situation spot here a little bit, but Vandy at home has just been awesome. Straight up ATS, however you want to, at least by Vandy standards. I mean, 9-5 ATS. It's tough to go against them at home here, and I like the desperate angle. It's a Saturday. I think there will be a good home crowd to help carry them. Kramer, what are you doing? You're on Ole Miss.
Yes.
Can we also bring up that was against Alabama? Missouri did that. Alabama is their athletic director, is the one that's been pushing all this shit. So even better to do that against them.
Shove it in his face.
Yeah. Pathetic.
It is. I mean, you at least have to realize when you've been the bully to not then be the bitch and cry and want to change the rules, right? Like the bully can't be the bitch. If you're gonna be the bully, but don't act like a bitch. And these blue bloods that are just going from like, well, of course we're gonna win every year because we cheat. To look at the rules. Court storming is dangerous. I'd love to see the case that they lay out for whatever congressional hearing in their state to try to make it illegal.
No one's ever gotten hurt.
Where they lay out like some sort of a fake it, like if some fake injury lawyer comes out and it's just like,
guy, we need. Have you been injured in a court storm? We need to get Colby. Where's
Patty C just comes out with a neck brace on.
Colby, did you bring your when you moved? Did you bring your neck brace?
I do have the neck brace. I got to pull it out.
Right, well,
Yeah.
So you need to like sue the college for storming the court.
No, but really, I mean, look, this is further proof that we're living in the worst time ever. You can't even storm the fucking court. You can't even storm the fucking court. It's pathetic.
It is sad.
It's pathetic.
We need to make one of those like those like, have you been affected by asbestos?
Yeah.
We need to make one of those.
Kramer,
what do those kids pay tuition wise?
What do you mean, Vanderbilt?
Vandy, they should. That I'm sure like schools are going to be charging a storm fee. Well, it's part of the tuition breakdown, and we have the storming fee, which they have like a little slush fund for their storming fees.
Vanderbilt has.
I mean, the storming fee should be the goddamn textbooks that they charge like $500 for some textbooks some teachers don't even fucking use. It's just they're fucking full of shit, man. Oh, $200,000. We're supposed to feel sorry? No, fuck off. All right, they're a bitch ass university.
Vandy's still rich off all that railroad money. They don't need their fucking yeah, come on. That's crazy.
I actually think I'd have to I'm not read up on this in a while, but I actually think the Vanderbilts famously lost all their money, or at least a tremendous amount of it. Which I imagine.
Oh, Ryan's feeling sorry for the Vanderbilts.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. But imagine being such a degenerate that you're one of the wealthy families controlling everything in this country, and you somehow squander your money.
You are a big Anderson Cooper guy, right?
Oh, who are you talking about? The old
Gloria Vanderbilt,
the old bullpen catcher for the Mets. He's playing Colby's game. George Mason heading to Richmond, Virginia for a game against VCU. I saw the chat throwing out VCU as a dark horse.
Oh, that's fun.
VCU
that is good.
Laying a projected 6.5 here against Mason. Like I said, 1 p.m. on the West Coast. Colby, you taking it or you laying it?
This is a fascinating game because first place is on the line in the A10. Unfortunately for George Mason fans, this is a rivalry game. But I don't know, the fail to the Atlantic 10 for not scheduling. They normally play twice a year. It's only once this year, and it's at VCU. And the fact that George Mason's in first place, I think they're doomed coming in here. George Mason's a great defensive team, top 10 in the nation, actually. But the offense, not so great. 173rd. That's not going to travel well, especially to this arena where they are 13-0. I believe Moneyline Mac will be at this game. But yeah, I mean, this will be a chippy game though. I mean, historically, this has been a fun rivalry as far as the shit talk. I like laying the number though with VCU.
So, excuse me, Ryan Odom, year 2 at UMBC. You remember what happened, Sean? They made the tournament. You might remember.
UVA, tough year.
Year 2, Utah State, 2023. You may remember we all loaded up on Utah State and lost some money on them. First round of March Madness. Well, he's in year 2 at VCU. I'm liking the way this future ticket could sound. We might have to investigate that one, Sean.
VCU.
They're like, you look at this version of his team. This is arguably the best team he's ever coached.
Yeah,
you know what could be scary though?
Yeah.
His dad's a coaching legend from Wake Forest. If Wake Forest fires Steve Forbes, which if they don't get to the tournament, they're going to fire him.
You think he gets that job?
I mean, they're certainly going to call. You would think.
But you're not going to leave a tournament run. That would be ridiculous.
I know, but you would think the distraction though would be there. Right?
But I mean, he has to know this is the best team he's ever coached. Like this is how going on a run in March is how you. Sure, maybe the Wake Forest job is the job he would get anyway. But that seems like maybe you're right, but I wouldn't buy it. I'll lay the points with VCU.
Yeah, I'll take VCU laying the 6.5 here. 9-3 ATS at home, and the fact you said George Mason's number 1, Colby. I mean, they're gonna
no top 10 defensively. All right, yeah, first place in the A10. First place in the A10.
I think they're gonna take that personally. They're at home. I think the line is telling you to take VCU here.
Also, last thing about George Mason, they of course, as everyone knows, second longest win streak in the country. So their stock is high. You don't want to buy high. You want to sell high. We all remember that my Akron Zips 14 in a row. They lead the country. Colby and or Sean.
Yes.
Who has the third longest win streak in the country at 10 games? Not
Towson.
What?
Not Towson.
Towson. Towson's got 12. Oh no, they lost tonight.
Not a ball knower. 10 games. They hail from what some people would call a smaller conference.
I was going to say UC San Diego,
level.
Maybe
Yale.
The Yale
10 games. Ivy League, baby. Yeah. UC San Diego is at 8, tied with Chattanooga, Montana, and Southeast
Ivy
Missouri.
League just canceled their conference tournament. Flu's pretty bad this year. So
Really?
Yeah. The Pac
remember that? You remember that one team that was wearing the mask? The whole team.
That was pretty funny.
Imagine playing a basketball game with the fucking mask on, and it wasn't like the Bill Lambier mask. This was the one over the like you're you're on the circular saw. Cool. Yeah.
The amazing battle of logic and people who just like rules during that time with youth sports was unbelievable.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Trying to have a rational conversation about like, okay, guys, well, if we think there's such a big problem here that we want them to wear masks and run around on a soccer field sweating and like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
What was worse? Oh, okay, fire.
We're going to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGPN. Getting in on some sweet college basketball action. Gonna be getting down on some sweet futures. Kramer and I are gonna be playing a little blackjack, Sunday night blackjack stream. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. You get 100% match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply there on the bonus.
I've been told we should allow the chat to influence how much money we bet.
Okay, that could be fun, and the chat can play.
I don't know if I
us.
like that. You and your chat might play games with me.
We're gonna the chat will have a seat at the table. I think they have live dealers that we're gonna be able to figure out for you guys to hop in, play along with us. Fun way to grind out some action there Sunday night. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. That's right.
Dog.
The ultimate dog deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Colby, let's get hot here. What do we like for some underdog plays here on a Friday night? We got a couple big games: Marquette, Villanova, Michigan State. What are the angles?
Didn't I hit the other night with Degenhart?
Let's see.
I thought I did.
You did hit with Degenhart. He had 23 points. Unfortunately, we did not hit with Grant Nelson, who had 8 points, and we were looking for higher 12.5.
Talk about a fucking shooting slump. That's 3 games in a row he's been asked. Let's go.
Give me something good, Colby. I got a 33% boost.
I mean,
right now.
Dixon. I love Dixon. He's a bucket.
The first one that stood out to me was Vlad Golden higher than 6.5 rebounds.
Okay. Now, why
do Ivan Drago for Michigan. And then
higher 6.5 rebounds. Ladislav Golden.
Okay.
I'm in.
And then let's go to, man. I don't know, man. Let's go.
What do you mean you don't know?
Let's go Eric Dixon. Go Eric Dixon. Well, I was looking at the Texas Tech West Virginia game, and I'm like, no one scores. It's gonna be a defensive game.
Do we go opposite here, or do we trust him?
I trust my buddy Colby. Okay. Colby, what do you got for Eric Dixon here?
Let's take the higher. We're taking them to win, right? 20 and a half points.
Yep. Okay.
I'm in. Underdog fan. So we got real quick, Eric Dixon higher 20.5 points, and Vlad Golden higher 6.5 rebounds. $100 entry returns you $300. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
I see little boost there.
I see the chat. The Yale transfer is Danny Wolf, not Vlad Golden.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah. They got the Twin Towers there.
And shout out to Danny Dumbshit with a nice super chat in YouTube. Appreciate that. Mason, start your damn football programs, you Mid-Atlantic kitty cats.
We're still not doing that, huh?
Well, they hired a football coach. It's in the works. We've been putting this together for years. Put a lot of energy into it. The shirts are still available in the store unless you pricks took it off.
Great reminder: promo code Madness, 20% off everything. If you want to somehow find the George Mason T-shirt, which I'm sure is flying off the shelves, get it before it's gone.
Well, Danny, it is flying off. Danny Dumbshit's giving you $20. If you Danny Dumbshit, get on over there. It's waiting for you.
Grab the T-shirt. Shout out to Kyle as well. Check it in. Canada fan, Vikings fan, talking a little smack there about their big win over USA Hockey. Saying Premier Donald Trump is a nice ring to it. So good hear from our buddies up north.
What's that about? Why the hate, Canada?
Well, because a lot of Americans are talking shit, and I like a chippy sports rivalry with Canada. Canada, hats off to you. You guys got the best of us, but
in a sport that you guys created and are better at. So
next up, football. But hey.
I'm certainly not. Which by the way, if you're interested, I feel like I should at least show this real quick. But it is available in the store. If you're,
you found it.
I found it.
I
did indeed find it.
That is beautiful.
Start your football. That is a nice green.
Yeah, that's like supersonic style. I mean, that school has 40,000 people go there.
Yeah, why do they not have a football program?
It's pathetic, Sean. It's absolutely pathetic. They had Brad Edwards, the former Redskins safety, and Darryl Green as their athletic directors, the former Redskin corner as well. So it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Can't get a football team?
Unbelievable.
We have extra small all the way up to 4XL on this shirt.
Oh, nice.
Someone came after me for now. It says we got 4XL. I mean, it lets me click on it.
So you big.
That was another thing during the. That was another thing during
George
COVID.
Mason fan. Yeah.
Well, people.
That was another thing that happened during COVID. Is 4XL went viral.
All right. Let's get back to the games. I know Sean doesn't like the chit chat all the time. We should get some of these shirts though. Maybe that's what I'll wear to Vegas for March Madness.
It's a good St. Patty's Day shirt. Nice green.
Yeah, no, we like is St. Patrick's Day earlier than March Madness this year.
Yeah.
We've been robbed of that overlap. All right, Clemson, SMU. SMU was good to me against the in the Southern Northern Illuminati matchup where you two foolishly took Notre Dame after that half-assed scripted little tantrum he threw in the media room. Which, by the way, knowing how small those media rooms can be, that was probably a really hilarious moment for some of the members of the media. Colby thinks SMU is going to be laying a point here. Down in Dallas, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, Saturday, the 22nd. I've every time we talk about Clemson on the show, I tell you, I never in my life have had a read on this Clemson team as long as they've had the coach that they've had, which Colby, maybe you could tell me, but I feel like he's been there for like 20 years.
Not 20 years, but he has been there. Well, he's good friends with Dabo. That's a good way to stay in town. Play your cards right.
It works.
Yeah, but look, they went to the Elite Eight last year, man. And they're the second best team in the ACC. I think you could say without question. And this game's fascinating. I don't believe they played before, but SMU is in a spot where they can make the NCAA tournament. They're on the outside of the bubble right now, and this is their last chance besides the ACC tournament to beat a quality opponent. Really,
yeah.
So you got to. I mean, yeah, I think they probably will win out if they win this game. But the problem is they have had kind of a bullshit schedule. They haven't beaten really anybody good the entire year. But you guys know, if you this place will be lit, and you know who's their biggest fan, right? Who's at all the games, putting the W's up. It's this guy right here.
Oh, really? He's still around?
George Bush, huh?
Dude, he was putting the W up. Every game he's there. So I mean,
that video of him of where he was at the who is it, the funeral, Carter's funeral, and he was just
my God.
He's like a guy who ate an edible and was just trying to keep a straight face. That was great.
He always did seem to be like the guy that just kept on going forward. Like what's going on here? I mean, Colby, where's your soundboard?
Great guy to have a beer with, or 12 if the night's treating you right.
Oh man, I mean, some of the we aren't watching as much George Bush on the YouTube as when you were
Colby not
here,
being around the office.
Dan Marino and his dynamic wife might be there, guys.
I mean, yeah, that's imagine. If Trump said that, if Trump said something like, Patrick Mahomes and his dynamic wife, the internet would lose his mind.
No one would describe Patrick Mahomes' wife as dynamic, though. That's
fair. Do we know? Is it the truth about Dan Marino's wife, though? I assume so. Right?
You seen that lady? She's Mark Duper. She's all over the field. I'm actually going Clemson, Colby.
Oh wow.
I know maybe you're leaning in towards Bush. And I think he's getting into painting after he retired. I like the idea of this Clemson. Clemson has been good on the road ATS, and to your point, SMU is kind of a bit fraudulent. I like Clemson here.
Yeah, I gotta join you, man. Like SMU hasn't beaten anybody good just because George W.'s in the house. He goes to every game, so there's no shock value effect there, right? Yeah. It is a C-note game, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a C-note game. They're all going to go to the strip club after if they win, but Clemson's just a way better basketball team.
I mean, Clemson. The other thing about George Bush being a legend is that he got a DUI in 1976.
Yeah,
in Texas or where?
I mean,
in Texas.
That's impossible.
No one's getting.
He had to tell. He got pulled over by the highway patrol, and he told them their wife is dynamic, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you son of a bitch, we're giving you a DUI."
I mean, your dad's fucking running guns for the CIA. God knows what else, and you can't. And you're in Texas. You can't get out of a little. You had a couple too good. I mean, that's how drunk he must have been. You got to be really hammered. They didn't even have breathalyzers in 1976.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was back when they just let you go home.
But someone's asking for us to get W on the pod. Yeah, if he wants to come on and talk college basketball, happy to have him on.
Would love to have him on the pod.
Yeah, we're open to any former or current presidents who want to come on and talk sports. No politics.
That would actually be a good way to do it. So I'll because I mean, for my money, I'd have to do the research, and Colby, I'm sure, could help, but I'm not sure there's been a greater athletic feat for a sitting president than when George Bush stepped to the mound after 9/11 and fired a fucking strike from the real mound. Maybe people can reach out and tell me other times
he made 50 Cent. He made 50 Cent look really bad.
I mean, it's not just guys who have looked bad. He's made most people who are celebrities throwing out a first pitch look bad. He actually threw a pitch. One of the greatest presidential athletic accomplishments.
Not to top you, Ryan, but Teddy Roosevelt regularly staged boxing matches in the White House and would take on anyone he could, including professional boxers. He only stopped boxing when his eyesight was permanently damaged by a punch from military aide Colonel Daniel T. Moore. I thought this was an urban legend, but
once again, more proof that well, for the most part, it was better back then. There were some blemishes, but
his boxing record is much like Trump.
There was a few blemishes historically.
Oh, yeah.
That
Kramer, what are you talking about? Trump's won every golf title there is.
64-time club champion.
Well, it's the only one who gives him a run for his money is Colby. Colby and his member guest. Colby shot a 79. He didn't want us to bring it up on the show, but
wow.
So hats off to Colby.
Did you hit a hole in one?
Well, guys, wait till I show up to the studio in a few weeks here. I got all my khakis laid out right now. It's gonna be fantastic.
His wife's got his and the sweater
Sean,
vest.
we should go play golf at Shoal.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get some video of Colby golfing.
Of Sean. Yeah, you, me, CJ, Colby.
Oh yeah,
a little foursome.
I'm in.
Oh, Shoal, I've heard about this. You know,
it's on a dumpster. You'll love it. Yeah, there's it's trashy. It's perfect for you. I'm laying it with SMU. Fuck Clemson. I never get them right. Okay. Kentucky, Alabama, great SEC matchup here down in Tuscaloosa. I mentioned how ridiculous Alabama's schedule was from here on out. I guess before the last game they played, and they lost. Missouri for real, and now they have Kentucky, and then the quote easy game against Mississippi State, then Tennessee, Florida, Auburn. Could they end the season losing out, Colby?
No, because they win right here.
Okay.
No. This is interesting though. I mean, Alabama's defense not good. I think that's going to certainly hurt them. It does seem to hurt them. I mean, Missouri and Auburn, obviously good programs, tough spots for them, but it does seem like Alabama's defense is a liability, as good as maybe we thought Alabama was. Aren't you worried about Alabama's defense, Colby?
For the NCAA tournament, 100%. I mean, like I don't agree with that style of I don't like. They got fortunate to get to the Final Four because I thought that bracket was weak. But I think this is a good spot, and I think Kentucky's a team that lacks athleticism. I'm going to lay it. I think roll tide. They're due. They're due after back-to-back losses.
Kentucky's not been particularly good. ATS. They're coming off a big win.
They've been horrible on the road.
Well, and also too big picture. I feel like I forget the guy's name, but it was we were chatting about it on the old X at Gambling Podcast. And it does feel like situational spots this year, again, just anecdotally, haven't been as strong as previous years, where it's like, man, Alabama's lost back-to-back games. This is a massive get-up spot for them, at least historically. Will it continue? Kramer, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think Colby's right. Also, Nate Oates has been looking hilarious on the sideline. He's like the version of Buzz Williams where it's just he's a little curious, you know. He likes the colors in there and the perpendicular lines. Lay it with Alabama.
All right, I'll take
only win they get though. I think down the stretch here.
Ooh, okay.
I think they're they think they're gonna come into the tourney a little cold.
Don't storm the court though, right?
I'll take Alabama laying the
number. Look at that classic logo sweatshirt Colby's wearing.
Oh, old
school. I wonder if we should maybe we should do a classic run.
Yeah,
in the merch
original
store.
TCE.
Get the OG TCE logo. The Fighting Illini head out. Wait, this is
at the Garden
in New York. Okay, so we were doing one of these neutral site gimmicks.
We got 2 games at the Garden on the slate left.
I like that. They're taking on Duke, who unfortunately are good, Sean.
Yeah.
Which not unfortunately, it means we'll have an opportunity to fade them with a juicy dog price come March. Duke laying a projected 6 points here by Pick Dundee, 5 p.m. on the West Coast at the Garden. Wow. Okay, so the nightcap is late as shit. Is that at? Oh no, it's for the next day. Wow. Okay. Shout out to college basketball for realizing football's done on Sundays. Duke laying the 7, Colby.
Wait, what? No, it's Saturday.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the next game at the Garden because I was like, oh, that's a late start time if they're doing a double header. Nope, it's on Sunday. Shout out to college basketball for playing on Sunday. Colby, Duke, laying.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay it with Duke. Illinois has got the flu. Apparently, you saw their coach after the Wisconsin game saying we all got the flu. They got injuries, and I Underwood's another one that as it get closer to March, I kind of like to fade. Duke at the Garden gets it done. Lay it.
Yeah, this is a tester for Duke. They don't really have a ton of. They have some rivalry, some mop up work down the stretch, but yeah, this would if I was Mr. Shire, I would probably use this as a tester for the tournament festivities upcoming.
I guess that's a good thing to bring up in the chat here. They're saying only 6, and I'm like, actually, that number was at 5 when we ran that, but I put it at 6. But considering the flu comments, it could be higher, and considering it's Duke that gets that Notre Dame treatment, it
7?
could be higher.
Well, yeah,
maybe put it at 7.5. Yeah,
especially if we get some late news.
7.5.
Yeah,
8?
I still lay it. Still laying it. I think Duke's gonna win by like 11 or 12. Yeah,
I'll take Duke.
Imagine having to travel to New York City from the middle of the country, wherever Illinois is, and then you're not feeling good. Young people, they don't overcome the adversity.
They don't handle adversity well. I think this Illinois has looked rough, and they haven't been good on the road. So yeah, Duke all day here.
Excuse me, I got distracted by Dod Juice typing Fugazi oats. It made me laugh. It's like soy oats or something. San Diego State catching 6.5 in Logan, Utah, Colby, against Utah State, who of course keeps a great program.
This game's awesome. They fucking hate each other. Remember I don't know if it was last time. It was like a couple years back. There was like a brawl in the tunnel. Remember that? There's like a fire extinguisher got busted.
This is like it's like when Woody Harrelson walks down the train tracks going to play basketball. It's Utah State right there.
What Reese Waters has been ruled out for the season, the guard that I was hoping San Diego State would get back. Utah State upset San Diego at San Diego State this year, surprisingly. I think San Diego State stays within the 6.5, but I do think they lose. Give me the Aztecs.
Yeah, no, I'm with Colby. This is a big number for a team, and Utah State's been interesting, fun team to play, but 6.5 is a lot against San Diego State, who just has no problem uglying up a game. And yeah, 6.5. I probably not live on the money line there. It's a rivalry game, as Colby points out. 6.5, way too high.
The elevation in San Diego is 0.
Yes.
So again, you love the elevation sometimes. Of course, I'm on San Diego State. I generally back the teams that I've pledged allegiance to. 5 p.m. I was watching old DGen Madness videos, Colby. For whatever reason, I was deep in the YouTube.
What do you do all day?
John, he gives me shit for watching like these old Army Navy games from 1950, and this guy's watching old DGen Madness games.
Well, I was poking around on old YouTube videos for something, and I came across them, and I was just realizing how revolutionary we were. And then you wouldn't believe it. I actually landed on the famous 44-2 Rams Giants game.
Oh,
when I lost over $1,000 live betting a Madden simulation. Missouri heads to Arkansas, Fayetteville to be exact, for a little matchup against Sean's favorite animal, the pig. Missouri looks good, but boy, this screams letdown spot.
Oh yeah.
Colby projects the number to be 3.5. Certainly, this Missouri team is going to be a bit to handle come March in both conference and national tournaments. But this just seems like after that the Alabama win, not didn't court storm, but they did get a court storm type win. You almost have to fade him out of principle, right?
Oh yeah, and the gods are against you now. You know, like you're a terrible institution.
Yeah,
you're a terrible fucking institution.
They passed on an opportunity to storm the court. Was there any doubt Colby was going to fade him?
Oh yeah, fuck this team.
Sure.
I will be rooting against them. Yeah, they're probably going to be number one now. Let's go. Arkansas money line play.
John Calamari. I mean, he needs this.
Yeah,
he goes. Did you see his post game presser? That was a Final Four game in there. Okay, you still lost.
Arkansas has some moments.
But okay, you lost though. Like it's fine. Auburn's a good team, but you lost.
Yeah.
Arkansas absolutely has to win this game. Or Calamari is a complete joke.
Well, they haven't been amazing at home, but I think as a home dog here, back against the wall, catching a couple points, you got to go Arkansas.
Is it must win? This might be a must win game.
It's must win.
Yeah.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Oh, well, very clearly I'm on Arkansas, as I've highlighted throughout this entire portion of
Oklahoma. No, I'm sorry. They are Arkansas.
Yeah, they're actual Arkansas.
Got them confused.
Not Oklahoma, who's the new Arkansas. 7 p.m. on the West Coast. We're headed to Tucson, Arizona, for a little matchup between BYU and Arizona. Almost said Arkansas again. BYU, fairly fresh off a absolute pistol whip job. When was the Kansas game? Because that was ridiculous. I assume
last time they stepped on the hardwood, buddy.
Yeah, so I assume that you can't do anything but fade BYU here, right?
All day, and in general, I know Arizona's got like a sneaky amount of Mormons, but no, not here.
What are we doing? A Mormon handicap?
It's too dry to soak in Arizona.
Yeah.
No, this ain't Orlando.
That's the only way they get some humidity.
Didn't historically like a bunch of Mormons from Arizona like move back into Utah, like southern Utah? I thought that was a thing.
No? I'll dig out the there is something. There was there was some sort of aggression.
The great migration.
Yeah, I'll pull it up while you're talking about why you hate BYU in this.
Well, here's the real deal: is Arizona. This is one of the best home court environments in all of college basketball. And guess what? Last time they played there, they lost. They're not gonna. They're gonna fuck up. This is a lock. Lay it. They're gonna blow them out. This will be a 20-point win. 20 plus.
No, I mean. I'm with Colby. Like situation spot. Arizona has been good. ATS at home 8-5. Now you're fading a BYU team that just beat Kansas at home, probably filling themselves. And they won by. It's not like they beat Kansas. They destroyed Kansas. I think this is a tough spot to get up for, and I think matchup wise, this is good for Arizona. So I'm with you, Colby. Give me Arizona all day.
Yeah, like I said. Got to fade BYU after that win. I mean, Colby, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were winning by like 60 points in that game.
It was something like that.
They had like a 58 or 60 point lead against Kansas. That's almost like winning something. Like that's something that you're gonna as a BYU fan, you're gonna be like, remember that game when we were beating Kansas by 60? Unreal. UConn, St. John's in the Garden. So noon local time, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. This is very difficult for me. You know, I like St. John's, although I don't always like when they're playing in the Garden. This is amazing from a coaching perspective. By the way, Colby projects the number at 7 points for St. John's. That almost
crazy.
Feels too big.
No, I think he's right. I'm just saying it's crazy that we've gotten to the point where UConn's a 7 or 8 point dog.
They're the home team here, though. That's the problem. For whatever you think about this, UConn owns the fucking Garden. It's obnoxious. Smash! The entire Northeast roots. It's like the Patriot fans. It's like you draw a line, and if south of here, you might be a Giants fan, but north of here,
no,
you're
I think
a Patriots
I think
fan.
it's gonna mess with St. John's head. As much as I like St. John's and Patino, and I'm on board with the optimism. But 7 points against a Hurley team is too much for an environment that's going to feel like a home environment. That I think is going to kind of mess with the head of St. John's. And St. John's, yeah, they've been good, but also like their offense has some issues. They have some holes, which I think would make it tough to cover a big number against UConn. So, like UConn a lot here, as much as I don't like Dan Hurley and find him annoying. Colby, what are you doing?
St. John's going to win this game.
Okay.
They're 16-0 at home. The number's too big though. UConn stays within that number. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. Will it feel like a home game though?
Well, UConn got beat down by St. John's up in stores too. I just think St. John's, UConn's team is just not good enough to take down St. John's. I don't think St. John's has to. St. John's does have moments where they can't score. Yeah. But I think UConn and the points is the play. Johnny's win the game though.
Is the only game they played in the Garden this year the Gonzaga game?
Well, and it's a revenge spot for UConn as well. Now I know St. John's is a better team, but this is a revenge spot on technically St. John's court. That's going to feel like a home game. That is just a smash spot for you.
So I laid it out, but Colby, is that correct? Gonzaga is the only other Garden game they've had this year
for the Huskies. Yeah, I think so.
And they won that game. Remember that was like a short number for whatever reason. We said UConn owns the Garden. That was crazy. I think I have to take. I hate Hurley. I think Patino would love to just I don't know, whatever a one New Yorker might do to a man from New Jersey in his private time, but. Unfortunately, I have to take UConn here because I know that they're going to have the crowd. Last game, Purdue, Indiana. I think this is a rivalry game. I think this is a rivalry game. I'm not 100% sure. I think this is a rivalry game.
They've been playing this since 1848, and actually, right after Teddy Roosevelt,
outside, right?
Well, after he got his eye blinded, he went and watched the rest of the Purdue Indiana game. Right? Am I getting that story right, Colby?
No, it was 1901 that they first started playing basketball. But this is better than anything you can do this Sunday, right? But any hike, any fucking
I did get a DM about the Sea Dragons potentially returning in 2026. So
Teddy
Roosevelt was president in 1901. Just so we're
was he
accurate.
Was he? Nice poll. Yeah. All right. Maybe you're onto something.
Probably. There's a world where he had a boxing match and put Purdue, Indiana on the old radio. Although I don't think they broadcast the games. Maybe they mailed him the box score. I'm sure.
Sean, who do you think leads the all-time series?
Oh, I would have to say Indiana, but Purdue also has just been a regular season machine. I'll stick with Indiana, but
Purdue has a 36 game lead all time.
Shit.
John Wooden, the great John Wooden, was at Purdue prior to UCLA.
Yeah,
I think that was when the dominance came in.
Is it as simple as Indiana rivalry game? Unload everything at Purdue, home dog situation here.
They played recently on January 31st, and Indiana probably should have won that game, but they collapsed down the stretch. Mike Woodson, this is a harder game to handicap because you just wonder the motivation for these Indiana players are all like, it's an NIL group. Woodson's out the door, but they got up that first game. I'm going to do it again. Give me the Hoosiers plus the points.
And they've hung around against good teams at home. Michigan, they lost by 3. Maryland, they lost by 1. So them having a heartbreaking loss and covering this number, I could kind of make sense. So I would say Purdue's going to win by like 3 points. So I'll happily take Indiana here.
The last time Purdue had a 3-game losing streak, which they have right now, was when, Colby?
Ooh, it had to be pre Zach Edey, right?
2020.
So not pre Zach Edey. Yeah, was he there then?
No,
Actually, he might have been gone there.
He was
Yeah,
not there.
Yeah.
He was not there. He shows up in 20.
Yeah, and Purdue. That's the other side of it. Like I understand why Purdue's going to be the road favorite here, but they haven't looked awesome.
Yeah, you got to go before Zach Edey the last time that happened. So, do you really think they're not going to bounce back in this spot?
I mean, you could have said that same thing when they played Michigan State and they lost by 9.
What do you mean?
Well, they lost 2 games in a row, and then they also lost to Michigan State.
Well, but they've had 2-game losing streaks over the last 5 years.
No, they had a 3-game losing streak as well.
Not until this one.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So you couldn't have said that to them at the Michigan State games. They hadn't lost the third game yet. So now they've
Did you know in 1901 that the New York Giants got a record 31 hits and beat the Cincinnati Reds 25-13? Why didn't the Giants just stick with baseball?
Yeah, baseball does seem like their natural sport. Hasn't been a good run in football.
Wow.
Last 10 years.
You don't want to look up the total NFL and the Super Bowl championships. I definitely wouldn't look into that.
Decades young, Ryan. Are you talking about Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, and potentially future Hall of Famer.
Jalen Hurts, yeah,
for his work in the postseason.
No, I mean he also has a great regular season record, unlike some guys that they say are just going in without any sort of that they're upset he didn't get in on his first vote.
Who's upset?
Oh, Giants fans are upset that Eli Manning didn't get in on the first ballot.
It's a little disrespectful, but it doesn't really matter.
He shouldn't get in on the last ballot either. All right.
This is a
Colby. Let's chain ourselves. We need a publicity stunt for our company. Let's chain ourselves to the NFL Hall of Fame hunger strike. And if they let that fucking piece of shit Eli Manning in, which would be funny to start it now because it's not going to be up for another year.
Yeah, well, but this is another thing though that it's 2025. We like to celebrate mediocrity, so there we go. They'll probably put him in.
They will.
I think if you most people should probably go review the game tape. Give me Purdue.
Oh wow. Any reasons as to why you like Purdue, Ryan?
As I laid out, they've not under this coach in a long time lost 3 games straight. This is a clear bounce back spot against, as Colby pointed out, a dead man walking in a program of Indiana that has randomly gotten up for big games for whatever reason. So I'm laying it.
All right.
Are they going to put Mike Woodson in the Hall of Fame for coaching?
No.
I don't
Why?
think so.
He's average. No. He's average, Sean. Why not?
Yeah. Him and Eli Manning both 500. Put him in.
Yeah, I mean, it's an irrelevant argument because Colby is of the new NBA fandom generation where wins don't matter, championships don't matter. It's just about stats. Lock number 1.
Yes. What do you got, Ryan?
Excuse me. Let me clear my throat.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's in there. Texas A&M pick'em. Lock number 2. Give me VCU laying the bigger number.
Okay.
Lock number 3. I do think Arkansas is a absolute trap situation for Missouri.
Pig.
Give me Arkansas plus the points, and for the money line dog. Michigan State, very obvious, right?
Yep.
Very obvious. I've been very bad with the dogs.
Is that who you're taking? Michigan State. Okay.
I'm just letting people know I've been very bad with the dogs.
All right. For me,
much better with the locks and the picks.
Let's get it going here. Okay. First up, we got a big card here. I do like Arizona a lot at home. Fading BYU off that big win. So give me Arizona laying the 7.5. No one likes them, but they don't care. Give me the UConn Huskies catching 7 points against the Johnnies.
Oh boy, Sean, be careful. you have hard-earned money on Hurley and things go south, you're going to be very irritated.
It's and it's 7 points, right? That's what I'm talking about there. And then last but not least, I'm becoming a Ducks fan. Let's lean into it. Give me Oregon plus the 11 for the money line play. Arkansas gets it done. Woo pig suey on the money line. John Calamari, put him in some of that whatever. What is the calamari sauce? Some sort of
aioli.
Sauce.
Isn't that like aioli? Yeah.
Aioli, a mayo for the. I feel like
they give you the red one. They give you that white, that kind of like peach looking one. That's the aioli. Okay. The red one is what, like some type of marinara.
Yeah, they have a spicy mayo, so that's probably the aioli type. I'm seeing a spicy marinara as well. I feel like I always get the marinara, but Colby, what do we got? 3 locks and a dog. What are you doing?
We are locking up the VCU Rams.
Just ram it. Okay.
Yes. Also the Arizona Wildcats. Also the Texas A&M Aggies.
Ooh, okay.
And the dog is those Arkansas Razorbacks. Look, if you're wondering, well, I'll wait till next episode. But anyway, yeah,
that's a great tease.
Happy weekend,
Colby.
Well, it's easy to see a tide turn, Sean.
Oh, okay.
What is this?
I don't know.
What tide's turning, Colby?
Well, I would talk to you, but I got an early tea time, guys.
All right. Colby's got to hit the range. He likes to warm up before the big game, before his round. Make sure you subscribe to the College Experience wherever you get your podcast.
We'll be live in 10 minutes.
Live, yes. If you're watching on YouTube, hop over onto the College Experience YouTube, and promo code Madness, 20% off all the merch. I'm wearing my I wagered today. It's a
great shirt.
Someone did confuse this by saying, "Oh, you voted. That's awesome." Which maybe not the smartest guy. Because
I think I hate that person. I think I hate that person in general, though.
Yeah, it was a nice guy, so I'm not gonna bust his balls too much. But get some March Madness gear. We got the first half under t-shirts, College Experience hats, the DGen hats. Get some hoodies, whatever it is. Load up. Use that promo code Madness, 20% off everything, and get in on the. If you're gonna be out in Vegas, come say hi at the Rhythm Party over at Stadium Swim, aka the Circa, and enter in the drawing. If you can't make it out to Vegas, you can still get a shot to win a $250 future. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party.
I asked AI to show me what Rick Pitino would do to Dan Early.
Oh, really?
In a bully situation.
Okay, let's see it.
This was generation 1.
Oh my god!
And then
I don't think we can show that.
And then this is generation 2, where I said, no, make him meaner.
Oh, that's really.
Those are toilets, and I don't know what's going on. There's 2 heads.
Yeah,
it's very along.
Some medieval beheading type situation.
Wait, he's got some hair on the one on the right.
Yeah, like Patino's
you put a toupee on him?
Connected to someone else's
AI's
body.
Out of control.
You really got to have fun with it.
YouTube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Hit our channel, subscribe, like, tell a buddy, tell a friend, and do your part to take down corporate gambling. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
And remember, always say please and thank you with the AI.
Kramer, let it ride.